I get 100% profit, but it's all on me to sell the product and create the product and create value around the product and build the value in myself versus, okay, you can buy this product. This is what it's going to do for you. And that's all you need to do. So that transition has been a little bit difficult because people have also, again, been programmed to just buy the magic solution and the product, but like that's only band-aiding the problem.
Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches podcast. And if you're new to me, then welcome to my podcast. So I talk to a lot of people who are at the beginning of their career journey in health and wellness coaching. And so many of you struggle with a lot of doubt. And it's not just self-doubt, which is real and a big problem, but it's also doubt in general, doubt that it is possible to create a career for yourself as a coach that is truly successful and profitable and fulfilling. Many people have this sneaky feeling, I think, that, this is just too good to be true, which is why I love it when I get the chance to profile health coaches who have managed to make it and are truly successful. Because here's the thing, I know that this is possible. I interact with people all the time who are thriving in this industry, but it's not enough just to have me telling you that it's possible. I think it's powerful for you to hear it from other people too. So my conversation today is with Mandy Podclesny, who is a health coach who has built a powerful, beautiful, and successful career for herself as a health coach. You're going to hear about what it took to get where she is and all the messy middle stuff that happened along the way, and get inspired, I think, because you will see that this is absolutely possible. And if it's possible for other people, then it's possible for you. So without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Mandy. All right, today I am very excited to be chatting with Mandy Podclesny, and I think that you are going to absolutely love the stories that she's got to share today. I know she's got so much interesting stuff to talk to us about. So welcome to the podcast, Mandy. It is terrific to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into our conversation. I am looking forward to hearing more about your whole story and your journey, and also about your business. And, there's a lot of things that I want to hear about from you. But I would love for you to go ahead and let's get started by, you can introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mandy Podclesny. I am an empowered eating coach, but I definitely have evolved. So we'll go into that. But empowered eating coach at the moment. And the reason why I am an empowered eating coach is because I have navigated my own health challenges for the last, 15 years. And it's not always been easy. And I always knew that, you take your mess and make it your message and try to inspire other people. If I look back on my entire life and if I died tomorrow, I'd be like very happy and excited about the fulfilling things that I've done. And I think that that's just super important to kind of focus on and just serve as much as you can, no matter your circumstance.
I love that. And I love the, your mess is your message concept. I think that is so true. And I think that just remembering that is just so helpful for people to know that, like, you don't have to have it all perfect and all figured out. And in fact, the opposite is usually more like connection creating with your people, like with your community. So it's okay. We're all messy.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. And so tell us a little bit more, like you gave a little hint, like a little teaser there about like your evolution, but tell me, what are you doing now? Like who do you help? What do you help them with? Like what is your current business model?
Yeah. So I have started out with doing keto, but what I do now is really help women ditch the diet drama, fix their relationship with food, and learn to love themselves. And that evolved over time. 4.5 years ago, I found the power of pure therapeutic ketones, like drinking ketones, as well as doing the ketogenic diet, which has tremendously helped my own inflammatory issues and my emotional eating and all of my stress and all of that. Like, it really just set me up for success. So I started teaching the diet and all of that. But then I found out as I was coaching and learned that we create all of this diet drama around our diets based on the diet industry, the food industry, our emotions, our old programming and conditioning. Like, I couldn't figure out why people weren't sticking to my meal plans and my recipe guides and all of my challenges. And then I started doing my own health and wellness journey, or my own self-development journey, and figured out that all of the self-development principles are so applicable to why we self-sabotage in our diets. And yeah, so that's why I do what I do now, because a meal plan is not going to work if you're not going to do it.
Oh, 100%. I completely agree. I mean, I talk to people about this all the time because it's not like many of us don't know what we should be doing, right? But there's so many interesting layers underneath all of that, like why we're not making the right and healthy decisions, and all of that kind of stuff. So ditching the diet drama, I love that. Like, as your umbrella, like, it sounds like you really are helping people to really get to the underpinnings of like what is stopping them from making the right choices.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because we're like literally predisposed from the moment we're born and how we've been raised to our traumas that we went through as a child. Then the food industry wants to keep us trapped. Then the diet industry wants to keep us trapped. So you're literally living in this trap of your own mind, your old conditioning, and society is keeping you from the very thing that you're actually trying to get out of. So unpacking all of that and understanding that willpower is actually circumstantial and you have personal power, but personal power comes from healing yourself and understanding and recognizing all of that first, not just coming from the meal plan and wondering why, oh, well, I'm not successful. I must not have discipline and I must have crappy willpower. Well, no, you have literally so many things working against you. So let's unpack all of that first, and then we'll get to the meal plan.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that, because there's just, you're right. It's like a soup of influences and things that we've all acquired along the way that is dictating our decisions and our actions. And I mean, it's work to get to all of that stuff. I know that, I'm sure that that is like the bulk of your work with people now, is like, it's hard work to like really excavate all of that and figure out what's going on, like what are your drivers under that. But until you do that work, I mean, this is what I've experienced also myself too, is like, until you do that work, it's only band-aids until you actually figure out what's happening under the surface. And that's why things are just, we've all had that experience of like diet not sticking, or your results only being temporary, fall off the bandwagon. Yeah. So
No, for sure. And then from a business perspective, like, I started one way, and then I have now evolved over the last couple of months to this way of actually teaching it. And I think, and what you said was like, oh, this is hard work. Like, it's a lot of people don't want to do this work, or don't. I'm literally trying to deprogram people and convince them to understand that, like, yes, the path of least resistance, or the thing that you think you want, is the meal plan and the challenges and all of that, which are great. But like, really doing the emotional deep work, it scares people. So it kind of gives me a mind complex as I'm doing it. I have to do my own self-development, healing, and build my own confidence around my business stuff, because I've literally transitioned to something way more difficult, because people want to buy the pills and the products and the programs, which are great, but we have to do the healing work first. And, shifting and making that transition from a business perspective has not been easy either.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, actually, I'd love to talk about the business side of things too, because I know that, of course, my listeners most of them are building their own business, usually as health and wellness coaches or in the wellness industry. And so it's always so helpful to hear from somebody who is, several steps or, ways down the road from where they feel like they are right now. So, well, I mean, tell me a little, because this evolution, like, what is your current, like, what are you doing currently, or how are you pivoting in your business? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I was actually, we could do a whole other podcast on my story, but I was actually recovering from knee replacement surgery.
Hmm.
And I was on disability, but I was also like a little bit freelancing, doing social media marketing for small business. And then a network marketing opportunity came to me, which I was very against. I was like, I love the product, but I was like, absolutely not. Like, this is a pyramid scheme. Like, hell no, I'm not doing it. So it took a lot of mindset work around actually doing it. And I was taking the product and I couldn't afford it. So I was
Mm.
just trying to get it for free with referrals. And then it kind of just accidentally blew up. So foundationally, I think that my network marketing business that I still do today, but not as aggressively, have transitioned into coaching. But it did prime me to really learn how to run a business, what you need to do every day, how to be on social media, what to do, how to bring value. So I started that first, and it was great because I was, just selling a product and, you know, doing the business things that you need to do by creating value, like I said, and showing up every day for my business and, customer service and all of that. Like I literally got a boot camp on how to run a business. And then I started to just realize that, kind of the same thing. Like I was teaching these diets and teaching, buy the product, but it was not, I wanted to make more of an impact. So I started to coach and like enroll one-to-one clients so I can learn more about what they actually needed versus like just assuming, right? And then
Hmm.
started to really pay attention to, okay, well, you're not even willing to put a powder in a water and shake it and drink it every day consistently, but you brush your teeth every day. So like what's really going on here? Like what's the behaviors and patterns? So I started to just really listen and understand. And it's been, like I said, like, yeah, I'm transitioning from selling a product and selling challenges and meal plans in my coaching life to now really evolving into just primarily coaching with married products together in my programs, but it's not the main thing. And it's just been a transition and it's just been hard. But I mean, it's showing up every day, providing value, and really just like listening to people so you can create programs around that versus assuming that what they think or assuming what they need. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. And it actually sounds like your whole business journey so far has been like, constant kind of evolution of listening to your community, not assuming what people need, and then kind of evolving and pivoting sort of organically in response to what you're actually seeing and hearing on the ground when you're getting in there and working with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, it's been a mind complex like for me because it's like made a little bit more money. And it's a lot easier to just sell the product and that's it. You know what I mean? But
Mm,
it's now like, okay, it's all on me. I get 100% profit, but it's all on me to sell
yeah.
the product and create the product and create value around the product and build the value in myself versus, okay, you can buy this product. This is what it's going to do for you. And that's all you need to do. So that transition has been a little bit difficult. Because people have also again been programmed to just buy the magic solution and the product, but like that's only band-aiding the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. So I can totally understand you'd be working against that, but you're following what you know to be true. It sounds like to me that how you really want to help people. You don't want to help people just on a surface level. You really are called to help people on a deeper level.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you have to slow down to speed up. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't,
Mm,
and then also too, not making it personal, right? Like you look at launches and you're like, okay, well, what you're, because we all cry as entrepreneurs, I'm sure. Right.
yeah.
But it's emotional. But you also have to take your emotions out of it and put your boss hat on, your CEO hat, and be like, hey, okay, what went well? What didn't go well? And what could I have done? Or what can I do better? And what are my takeaways? And kind of debrief what you're doing in order to make better decisions next time. And here's the thing, it's like nothing's permanent. Like if you would have told me 4 years ago that I wouldn't really be teaching diet specifics and not really selling my product as much as I have been, I would have been like, yeah, right, whatever, I'm a lifer. But like as you evolve and as you really start to listen to people and create your community, you have to kind of evolve too and do whatever is on your heart and what impact you want to make, because the income then will come more,
Mm.
but it's just understanding that, like, one, taking an objective look at your business, and two, understanding and trusting that, like, you're making more of an impact, the income will then come. As much as you're making the impact, right? Your paycheck will directly reflect how much impact you're making in the world,
I do. And I totally believe that. It does require a leap of faith though for people,
Mhm.
to be like, well, I still need the money. I still need to pay my bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be a tough one. But I'd love you mentioned like being analytical, right? Like put on your CEO hat and be like, look at the mistakes and look at what needs to change. What would you like? Do you have, examples of things or mistakes that you maybe made, or things that you learned from, or things that surprised you, or, tell me about, I'd love to hear about some of the things that you've learned by really analyzing what's working and what's not working in your business.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's so many things. When I when I objectively look, because it's very easy to get frustrated because I'm not making the same money that I was when I was just selling the products, right? So it's
Mm.
just been a slow down to speed up. But objectively looking at it, like, okay, for example, I had a launch a couple weeks ago, and I prepped with my assistant for like weeks, and I got COVID for
Oh
one
no. Oh no.
during it. And yeah, it was completely horrible timing. Nothing
That's
felt
bad
right.
timing.
Like, oh, the worst. And we were like prepping for like 6 weeks to do a free workshop and then sell my food and feelings course as well. And I got COVID. I was traveling. So it's kind of just like poor timing. Like, if in hindsight, like, let's plan a launch not when I'm traveling for 14 days. But the whole point was me traveling to decompress from an event. And then I got COVID. So that lasted like a whole 14 days on top of that. I had to do the workshop during the launch. And with COVID, like, it was terrible. But I mean, objectively speaking, I don't think that it's not entirely my fault, but the food and feelings course didn't do as well as I wanted. So what could I have done better? Well, not go to an event, maybe not get COVID, but also I didn't do the pre-priming like content for the workshop, right? And
Mm.
I should have, like, because I am transitioning from going low carb diet to doing challenges to now, okay, hey, I have this food and feelings course that I really want to sell and really know it will help you. But the sales page wasn't really that great. There's just a lot of objective things that essentially, like, in hindsight and after I've done crying and recovered from COVID, that I can look at and be like, okay, but am I a failure? No. Did it not do that great? Yeah, I could definitely have done better. But like, now come to November when I launch it again for Black Friday, it's going to be awesome because I'm going to start priming my people now. Hey, I do way more emotional stuff than, oh, hey guys, I used to be this keto coach and now I'm going to teach you your subconscious and your conscious mind. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Now, was this the first launch of this program, your food and feelings course?
I like teased it when I was like kind of dabbling, but like now I'm like fully into it and like fully into coaching. So I had a huge expectation of like, and kind of confidence, like, I'm such a good coach now. And then but it's just like my audience, like, people again are looking for the meal plan and they're looking for the accountability challenges and all of that. And then transitioning from that to, hey, actually the meal plan and the challenges, what I used to do, aren't really going to be the solution to all of your problems. Now you should buy my course on food and feelings. It was just a really heavy transition, which I think needed way more audience priming and a way more value building than, okay, come to this workshop, I'm going to blow your mind, which I did, even though I had COVID. But like, it was just, it was kind of just a shock. Like, it gave people perspective on their food and their feelings, but from a conversion standpoint, it definitely didn't do as well. And for that reason is because I just didn't really create content enough consistently around it. I kind of went from like, oh, hi, we're doing this now, to buy my stuff.
Mm. I think though that this is such a valuable thing for for my listeners to hear is like, because we all have these expectations, right? I'm sure. I mean, if I'm reading between the lines a little bit, it sounds like you had, big hopes and big expectations. And of course, like that's normal, right? We all have that, especially when we're super excited about something new
Yeah.
that we're rolling out. And if our community hasn't quite caught up to our degree of excitement about something, then yeah, results are disappointing. But it is, and I mean, I've heard a ton of stories like that. I don't think that I've ever talked to an entrepreneur who hasn't had like a disappointing launch or something that they had
Yeah.
big hopes for. And then it just was, maybe not, it didn't maybe crash and burn, but it was just fell short of what the hopes were. But it's so good to hear, for people to hear. Like, I'm not happy, of course, that you had to go through that, but
Yeah.
it's so good for people to hear it, because I know that, everybody has that experience. And so to hear somebody just be open and honest about, like, yeah, I launched this new thing and it didn't have the results that I was hoping for. It's so much more validating. We all know that because the online world, it's so easy because
Ugh.
people just show us their polished exterior and tell us like all these, I had 6-figure launch, all of these kinds of things, which make us feel bad about
Yeah.
ourselves. I know that I've heard that from many different people. So it's great to hear. It's very refreshing to
Yeah.
hear from you about that experience.
We all need to be talking about that, from not only just in the entrepreneur space, but like just in mental health in general, or just like, just if we are staying in the entrepreneur space, it's like we should be talking about that. Like, it's real cool to see everybody driving a Lexus and like doing 6-figure launches and like all of that. But like, okay, I want to know how many times you cried, how many people you fired, how many did you hire? Like, it's cool to see everybody's like results, but like you don't see, it's like the ducks swimming on the pond.
Mm.
It's like, you see them just smooth gliding, but like, how much are they kicking like underneath? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. They're pedaling like mad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. So I'm also curious though about, and I know that my listeners always ask this too. They're wondering about like marketing strategies, like what. So you built up your business and now you're shifting into, you're pivoting a bit, but still serving like similar community. But like what are your key marketing strategies, and how are you getting people coming into your business? I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Oh, fun that we're talking about this because I'm transitioning there as well.
Good.
No, well, I mean, yesterday Facebook went down
Yes.
globally. It's usually a Mandy problem. I am in the Facebook Mark Zuckerberg sin bin almost monthly, just disabled account. Like, it's just annoying. And it's because I don't really know. I think it's health and wellness is just targeted in
Yeah.
general. To just trigger words. 3, I have programmed, and with the algorithm recognizes that I do network marketing as well. So I think I have a whole bunch of factors like working against me. And 2, I run a couple Facebook groups that have like hundreds of thousands of people in them, which is great. Um, and listen, I bought 2 of them, so don't get so excited about my marketing. But I did grow a group to 25,000. That's organic, as well. And, I run all these Facebook groups and commenting and all of that. And it's just like, it got zapped yesterday. And it was just like, I mean, it's just transitioning over from just being super heavy to social media to doing other things like my website and Pinterest and Instagram and all of that and building an email list is super important to me now. But how I built my business in the beginning was super heavy on Facebook and a Facebook group and creating content that got shared in a lot of Facebook groups, which now most people don't even allow that. So kind of transitioning out of that into something else, but it's super easy to default back to what you know versus focusing on things that you know will actually help you grow. So what I do every day is just create content, go Facebook Live or go live or post a video, and really just every single person that comments, I like try to create a relationship with them as much as I can, and just one person at a time.
Mm. Oh, I love that. It's like
Yeah.
relationship marketing
Yeah.
approach that is really, but it's on the platform of Facebook primarily. Is that your primary? Yeah, other
My
than yesterday.
Yes, yes. But it's just eye-opening because it's just like, okay, well, Facebook did shut down, but like every time that I go into the sin bin, that's what I call it instead of Facebook jail, it's just funnier. I I just, really recognize that like you really need your own space because you're in rented land, and you never know when you're getting evicted. So it's just really important to make sure that you are, just diversifying basically. But it's really important to just lead with value, lead with your heart, lead what fires you up. And then the rest of your people will respond to it. And if they don't respond to it, then they're not your people.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. But yeah, I agree entirely about, prioritizing building your email list and so that you're not dependent on social media. Although it can certainly be a useful tool. It sounds like it's been a very useful tool, especially in the beginning stages of building your business. I want to just circle back to your Facebook groups though. So you've got a couple of Facebook groups. One you grew through paid and one you grew organically. Is that right?
So there was I was an admin for a group and she was just trying to sell it. So I took over adminning and now I own the group. So that was like an additional help. So I started there, but listen, I just run too many groups at this point and it's just a lot. So, but I did from ground zero build a group completely organically at 25,000. So that's kind of where my main hub is at the moment. But I do have the other group and some other ones I admin there just to provide value and then have people come back to me. Cause a lot of people running a group's not really easy and spam and, just trying to keep the hater rate out and all of that stuff too. It's not easy, but it's very easy to default and get into the time vortex of that. So reconditioning myself and solving for the distractions is super important for me to just start focusing on other things, but it's easy to just, again, default back to your comfort zone.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like Facebook groups are still working for you, in terms of getting clients and getting leads and, growing your community? Is that still something that you are finding is a beneficial activity?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as much as I am frustrated with, the Facebooks and the jails, it is definitely 100% really, really the best way to I would suggest for anybody starting out to actually start there, because you can go live on your regular profile, go make friends in other groups, and then drive traffic into your own group, which is your own safe space to do whatever you want, aligned with whoever your ideal client is and whatever your message is. I think that's just the easiest, best way to do it. It's just tricky with health coaching, I guess. We're all Mark doesn't want us to be healthy. But I think it's really great and easy because then you can go Facebook Live in your group. You can host, value information in guide sections. You can capture people's email lists or emails by offering them freebies on Facebook. So it's kind of a twofold thing, and really just create connections inside of Facebook. And on social media versus just getting somebody's email address from the website and just emailing them. They don't really know you, your face, your name, or anything. It's just emails, So I love that there's video aspect to Facebook, and then you can build that trust factor way faster than trying to just do it through email or on a website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And do you do a lot of interaction inside direct messages? I think you said that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I try to message as new people. So when I do a Facebook Live, for example, I'll put my group in the title. So it drives people that are brand new. So I'll do that. I'll talk about it. And then I'll say, add me as a friend on Facebook if we're not already. And then anybody that kind of adds me, I just try to send as many as I can. I probably do 5 a day. I used to be able to do so many more. So I don't know what's making the algorithm mad at me. But I just try to just do as much as I can, but commenting back, just treating everyone like human and making that human connection. And then you planting seeds for later, maybe they don't buy now, which is again, kind of going back to my launch. It's okay, well, I had 150 people register for the free workshop. Just because not every single person bought doesn't necessarily mean it's a lost lead or anything like that. I have a value connection there that's super awesome. So just nurturing that over and over again and just trusting that they're empowered women that will make empowered decisions, maybe not today, but later, and still just providing value is not a lost thing at all.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and it sounds like, I mean, of course, it's a really effective thing to be able to make that personal one-to-one connection. Like, your groups are big, but if you're connecting with people individually inside the messenger, then that's awesome. However, it does sound like a lot of work. I know that
It
like my
is.
listeners are like, that sounds like it's going to take me all day. So how do you manage that? Like, how do you prioritize, or do you get help with that? Or how do you manage your time with that?
Yeah, I have a virtual assistant that helps a little bit with that kind of stuff too, like commenting back. But like, not every single person's going to get a comment back or something like that. So I'll do what I do to kind of like pre-qualify or just kind of just gauge where the group is or whatever. Like, let's say, for example, um, how much weight do you want to lose for October? And if people are just saying like 5, 10 pounds, like, I'm not going to talk to them. But if there's like significant fat loss there that they need to have, I'm going to like add them as a friend and shoot them a DM and be like, hey, I just saw that you have, you know, a big goal for October. Like, is there anything I can do to support you? What kind of, what's in your way? Like, kind of just talk to them that way versus like trying to message every single person that answers. Like, that's going to, one, put you in a Facebook jail. And then two, like, you're really going after the people that really need your help.
Mm.
And then that kind of just keeps your time focused. And then two, I do a lot of like, hey, send me a DM if you want some help versus like me going after them too. But overall, like, yes, it is work, but like creating relationships is never a waste of time because you're creating that relationship, like I said, and people will continue to follow you. Like I just got off I actually had a client I just got off the phone with before I popped on here. She's like, I've been following you for 4 years. And since the beginning, I was like, what? Like, I didn't have any idea. And she finally bought one of my programs and like my one-to-ones. So it's like, you just don't, people will be ready when they're ready. But like, I have that relationship with her, and 4 years she's followed me and finally made the decision that she was ready to work with me.
It's
So
so fascinating. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, we all have that same experience. Like some people encounter you and then like within a few days they're working with you. And then other people sit on your list and watch you and observe you and all of that stuff for years. That's
yeah,
amazing that
I
she finally was
know.
like, now is the time.
I know. I was like surprised because like I had like a little funnel thing for something that I offered, and she like bought the VIP, which I didn't really expect anyone. I just put it in there for funsies, and I'd seen her name. Like, I didn't have any expectations, but I saw her name and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you finally signed up. She's like, or not finally, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that you did my VIP package, blah blah blah. She's like, yeah, girl, I've been following you for 4 years, like da 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 da, and I was like, oh, cool. Awesome. Like I had no idea. So I've seen her little bubble on the Facebooks, but I haven't ever like, she never even bought anything, and you can't really be mad at, like, it was, now she finally did. So it was awesome.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm so glad that you shared that story too, because that's also really valuable for my listeners to hear. Many of them are at the beginning of their journey and they feel like if they don't make a sale, like, right away, or if people aren't buying, then it's never going to happen and this isn't going to work and, all of that kind of stuff. But it's a long game. And,
Yes.
you have to be really in it, like really committed to the process because people are going to have their own journey. And so, yeah, sure, you didn't make that sale today. That is not a no forever kind of situation. Like people tend to come back to you, and so you got to keep your head in the game and stay in there. So I love that you shared that story.
Yeah. And then don't pay attention to engagement as much. Like just focus on your message because it's really easy to be like, oh, no one liked this post. I guess no one likes me. It's not about you. It's about, even if one person likes that post and you do those 365 days, you have 365 likes or 365 pieces of content that made an impact on one person. Like that's powerful versus like trying to be this huge influencer and then you lose your people. Like create the stickiness in your business, because that's the one thing that like in the beginning I just attracted all these people to me, but like where do they go? And like, I want to now make this sticky community of people that like will never leave because they're super fans and they will buy every single thing from me versus like, okay, here, buy my product and that's it. And then I don't hear from you after you ordered 2 or 3 times and then I have no idea where you went.
That is so great. I love that reframe. That's perfect. Like you're right. I mean, we all want like everybody wants like the hundreds of likes on everything that you share and post, but even one like on one post per day, 365 people whose lives that you have actually impacted, and just trying to keep it down, like bringing it down to that human level, which it's really hard to do on social media because it's so like, it's just out there and like so faceless, nameless. We're all sitting behind our computers. It's so easy to feel disconnected that when somebody likes something, when one person likes something that you've shared, that is one real person, not just like a number. It's a real person. So it's such a great reminder.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, well, we are just about out of time, and this has been so great, Mandy. I want to hear all your details in terms of like where listeners can go to connect with you. But before we do that, just any final words of wisdom. If you just had one takeaway to give to our listeners, what would that be?
Do it messy and do it authentically, because just do something. Essentially, if you're in analysis paralysis, which I'm there now, like, I mean, I've struggled with that, and I have all this 4.5 years of accumulation of knowledge, and kind of actually wish I could go back and start all over and be completely hair on fire, have no idea what I'm doing, but just going, and that's what you have to kind of remember. And that's where I'm at now. It's like, okay, like the strategies might be different now, and I have all of these tools that I'm able to use, but like just use one consistently over a long period of time and then make a decision on whether it's working or not working, versus like just posting one thing and being like, oh, no one likes me, because I've been there too. So just keep going and be authentically you, and don't worry about anything else. Your people will find you and your income will happen as much as you're making an impact. So that's what I say.
I love it. That is the perfect note to end on. All right. Okay. So like I said, before we go, just tell us where we can go to learn more about you, more about your work, and also especially connect with you.
Yeah. So you can head over to my Instagram at @MoreMandyP. I've been spending a lot of time there. And then my website, mandyp.com, has access to my Facebook group and other ways that you can contact me or work with me, or just say hi, so I know where you came from. So wherever you connect with me, that's fine. But just say, hey, I found you and I would love to connect.
Amazing. I love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mandy. This has been really awesome. I've loved getting to know you and chatting to you, and have an amazing day.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it.
Okay, so there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. I would love to hear your thoughts about this episode. Are you feeling inspired by Mandy's story? Let me know by finding me on Instagram and tag me in your stories, or send me a message. Okay, that is a wrap for today. One final reminder, just to take a sec to rate and review this podcast. I absolutely love reading reviews, and it also helps me to know what kind of content you really want and what are the most helpful elements of this podcast. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and you're excited to take your coaching business to the next level, then I would love to invite you to attend my free online class called How to Build a Six-Figure Health Coaching Business Using One Signature Program. And that's even if you're a brand new coach. I will be revealing the 3 behind-the-scenes secrets to financial freedom without exhaustion, burnout, or being a slave to social media. In this free class, you'll learn the exact blueprint to having the impact and life you desire, even if you're not sure how to make it happen right now. I'll also tell you about the single biggest mistake new health and wellness coaches make and what to do instead. And I'll be teaching you exactly how to design a signature program step by step, including how to price your offer. And yes, I give you real numbers. To attend this class, all you have to do is sign up at drkimfoster.com/6figures and reserve your seat for free. I will see you there.